game plan off without a hitch. But regardless, Virtus.Pro currently sit on 1 win, 2 losses in this Synergy League, and Aftershock are currently sitting on 3 wins, 1 loss. So looking to notch their 4th, see if they can manage that. Virtus.Pro, though, have banned the Legion Commander and Brewmaster. Aftershock, on the other hand, have knocked out, with the 2nd pick, they have knocked out the Terrorblade and Shadow Demon. Wow, that's an interesting choice. Shadow Demon first. Must have something specific in mind. We'll see where they go with this. It might be, we've seen a few respect bans. It might just be the fact that they're worried about Virtus.Pro, obviously, Shadow Demon, Mirana, that sort of business. So we will see, but I mean, if they've left the other, of course, the other suspect is Bane and Mirana, so maybe it's something else in particular. We'll see where they're going with this anyway. So Death Prophet has been picked up by Virtus.Pro, and they've gone for a Batrider and a Skyth Mage for Aftershock. Batrider, of course, super strong still. No real interesting things there. Whoa, wow. Oh boy, that's greedy. Okay. A Death Prophet and a Razor, so they want they want to unleash some serious hell in early brawls, and well, they can manage it between either Storm, Death Prophet. That is some serious AoE spamming coming out from those guys. If you get anywhere near these guys in a fight, Jesus, you're just getting knocked out so quick. But it might just be because they're expecting the Death Prophet from Virtus.Pro. So, alright, well, we'll take the Shadow Demons away so you don't have the Yules into a disruption or vice versa, which is incredibly hard to stop. Or even, like, you try and go on Death Prophet, you open up with the Concussive Shot Stance and the Mystic Flare or something like that, or you Hex her into a Mystic Flare, and then Shadow Demon comes on and says, actually, not happening, disruption, and she comes out of that, then instantly Yules herself. But it's just 5 seconds if you can't touch her while the freaking ult's flying about. It's very, very irritating. Now, Virtus.Pro have continued to ban out some of the... Well, the ban out Viper is a lane dominator, so they said, alright, let's get rid of that. And also the other thing Viper, of course, does is slow. Like, you can just launch him on top of Death Prophet and just make it really hard for her to kite in the fights.
5 seconds
And she's really reliant on her speed to stay nimble in the fights and just stay out of reach. She'll take a few hits here and there, but she's not super tanky. And with the Yules, of course, she can dodge some of the worst of stuff, but it really helps if she just keeps it she keeps everybody at arm's length while she just uses the Exorcism to bite everybody down. So getting rid of Viper, not only does it make the laning phase a lot easier, but it also just makes it flat out just easier for her to control herself in the fights and not get brought down. And then, wow, okay, maybe maybe it is the Mirana that they're worried about. They've banned out the Bane and the Shadow Demon, Jesus. Because Jonam has had a bit of a reputation these days as a stellar Mirana player. But we'll see where we go next. So
10 seconds remaining.
4th ban here. Virtus.Pro.
5 seconds remaining.
Looking at Aftershock's lineup, right now, they've probably got their offlaner, probably got one of the supports, so they're probably looking for mid still.
Time.
I mean, if they're putting a Death Prophet mid, there's always the fear of something. Well, then again, OD is not popular anymore, though he could crush something like a Death Prophet very easily, but then again, they could just throw the Raids in and rotate that out, so it's not going to be an OD. They worry about the Outhouse Decorator. No worries about him at all. At this, what else could they ban out here? It's going to be a Spectre banned out.
Dire team ban.
She's pretty annoying, but in this current ability to just to basically clean up, to act as like a mop up crew and just basically you get a bit ahead and then Spectre comes in and mops up like 2 or 3 people with her ultimate. It's pretty irritating the amount of swing dodge she can get off that. So that's upsetting, especially if you're brawling early and you one of those early brawls where the mech's not quite done yet and you get like into a 3-on-4 or something like that, and lots of people walk away low and the Spectre's ults and kills like 2 of them. It can be quite crippling, but yeah, I don't know if she was really a ban-worthy hero there. On the other hand, the Vengeful Spirit ban makes a lot of sense. She's really with the negative arm from Wave of Terror. That is a huge deal for the Death Prophet and Razor ultimates. And stacking that on top of them. And of course, Razor also benefits a lot from the aura, but mostly the fact that she also hard counters the Batrider. Batrider tries to get in, lasso the Death Prophet, and Razor Vengeful Spirit just says, no, not happening. What do you think you're doing, mate? Not happening. And there we go. There's a Mirana picked up by John. So they were worried about those supports for Virtus.Pro. They took out the 2 supports who combo incredibly well with Mirana. But, well, you know what? They could pick up a Void. If this is, like, they could play support Mirana, Void off lane, Razor safe lane, Death Prophet mid, or switch those 2 around. So they've got rid of some of the annoying roaming supports, and in this current metagame, the supports are really a big deal. We don't really have as much of the flashy mids anymore, the flashy playmaker mids. They're high risk, high reward. It's more of those farming mids like Death Prophet. You just want to sit there and farm away, get their core items, and it's up to the supports to dictate the pace of the game. And if you've got super aggressive combos like Bane or SD with Mirana, you can lay out so much pressure. And if you're playing stuff like Skyrath Mage and EO, as we saw earlier today, it just cannot respond to these early aggressive rotations from the supports. It's really hard for them to stay on top of it. So, you know, it's good that they've banned, like, they've banned out some of the combos, but then again, Mirana can combo with just about anybody who's got some kind of disable, or you can just say screw it and just have a launch, just roam and launch arrows regardless, because she lands a 5-second arrow with or without the setup, probably going to result in a kill. And sure, you're not going to hit every single arrow if they're not set up for you, but you can hit enough to make it worthwhile. And one of the best things about the roaming Mirana is that with Jodam's roaming around, he's giving solo lanes the cause, which if Skyreth Mage and which other supporters, like in a safe lane, just focusing on their own pools and their own farm, the other solos will get ahead on Virtus.Pros in terms of level and gold. Mirana is still very useful even under level. She lands, like, it's just a 5-second arrow. She lands it, it's crippling, it blasts people. There's nothing they can do about it. Now, Aftershock are going to grab the Invoker. That sounds like they're mid at this point in time, and I have not seen a Quas Wakes Invoker in a very long time. And of course, we're talking about those farming mids. Now, Invoker's a very flashy playmaking hero, but he doesn't have to leave his lane to do it. Of course, the big advantage of having this Invoker here is he can, if it's an Exort Quas, which I expect it will be, is he can help out any lane that you need with that Sunstrike at any point in time. So it's essentially like bringing a third hero to the fight without actually having him to risk his farm. Of course, you do need the setup for it, which is a tricky thing.
5 seconds
And right now, they don't really have the setup. The Concussive Shot is not good enough, really, to set up especially since the lower levels have been nerfed. It starts up at 30%, I think, now, the slower speed. So they will, if they've got the Invoker here, I think they'll benefit heavily from having a support who's got a very good, strong, solid stun. So we'll see where they go with that. And ironically, the heroes that really would have helped out. Of course, Shadow Demon, not available. Bane, less reliable because you can juggle his Nightmare around a bit, but still. And Rubik. Rubik's, actually, no. Rubik and Mirana don't work that well together because a level 1 lift it's too short. Mirana needs, what was it? The arrow flies at, I think it's like 1 it was 1.6 seconds flight time to hit maximum stun speed. Stun range? Yeah, it's something like 1.6 seconds flight time, and Rubik's lift is too low. Like, the duration at level 1 is too short, so he can't lift long enough to guarantee the 5-second arrow. With that said, you can probably just go for a shorter range one, but it's still not as easy as setting up a disruption arrow. That is a lot easier. Also, the effect of the disruption arrow is greater because you stun someone for 5 seconds and they're stuck next to 2 illusions whacking away at him, which at low levels and for heroes who have no armor, that's actually pretty painful.
Time.
We'll see what they can make happen with this. It's definitely not as good, but it can work. We'll see. And actually, the other thing, of course, Invoker, big spells, really good for Rubik to steal from. Very hard to get a shit spell off Invoker. For Rubik, he just basically just keep using it on him. He can generally find a good one somewhere in the fight. All Invoker spells are such a powerhouse hit. Generally, just all powerhouse hits. Even if he gets something simple like Alacrity and then throws it on Razor, it's just so much damage and attack speed. It's ridiculous. Centaur. Yeah. You can also steal Stampede. Stampede's pretty solid as well, and it's relatively easy to get because Centaur often stampedes before he blinks. So if you just aim to do the grab, if you aim to do the spell steal as he blinks in, it's very easy to steal it. You'll manage to get it off way before he has any chance to stun. Now, Void was the final ban by Aftershock. Right now, Aftershock probably looking for another support, so Virtus.Pro probably thinking through their options to ban a support here, and it will be the tree. And I think that's a very solid option. Even though they have good options to knock off the Living Armor with Death Prop and Razor, what they're worried about is because Virtus.Pro want to play super aggressive. They want to rotate, they want to roam, they want to set up kills, and that's when they won't have the Death Prophet in play, the Exorcism Melee, that's when they won't have Irestorm to play, so it can really mess up the early ganks. If any early gank that goes wrong, like, God forbid it backfires, even if it doesn't land a kill on either side, it's a lot of wasted time for Aroma, and it's very frustrating to have 2 or 3 of those in a row that just do not connect. It's a lot of wasted time. You end up under-level supports. For Rana, not as bad, because her ult's good and all, but 5-second arrows are crippling, as we mentioned before, so she can get away without it. But Rubik does not like being level 1, level 2, level 3. It's just, he needs to get his null field up and running at some point, and he really needs his ult quite badly. It just defines the hero. And speaking of heroes who can completely not going to be Jottam, okay. Alright then. But speaking of heroes who completely screw up early ganks, Abaddon is one of those as well. But it will actually, looks like it's going to be actually a farming Mirana, so we'll take that back actually. But Earthshaker will be the final pick, and as defensive supports go, he's pretty solid as well. But in this case, might come out, if he throws the fissure too early, it could be possibly used against him because you can just pick up people and dunk them on the other side of the fissure, which, yeah, obviously can backfire quite heavily, so he's going to be careful with how he places though. But I was expecting the roaming support Mirana, but they're still going with a very aggressive lineup here. This is not going to be the roaming early aggression most likely, unless Mirana gets really active early on. But this might actually be an offensive... No, Rubik's not very good in them. They don't really have the damage to put out. And we'll see where they go with this.
5 seconds remaining.
But, like, they're not going to be super... They don't have to be super aggressive early, but at this point, they're just going to hit their, like, their window to be aggressive a lot more earlier, where they don't have those must-have items to unleash that early aggression, whereas Centaur wants a blink, Batrider wants a blink. Invoker really just doesn't like leaving his lane, he just wants to farm. And obviously Earthshake can move around a bit, but he needs obviously mana sustain, and he does want to blink too pretty badly. So if he can be greedy, he would like to be greedy. Whereas these guys, they just want to push, they just want to farm, push towers, and obviously Mirana's quite happy to roam around early on as well. But see how aggressive she gets. Anyway, let's call out the lineup here. So, playing for Virtus.Pro, we've got John on the Abaddon, BZZ is perfect on the Razor, G playing the Death Prophet, Sedoi, Mirana, and Yol playing the Rubik. And playing for Aftershock, we have Kefka on the Batrider, Mind Control on the Invoker, Zeroji on the Earthshaker, Jellapi on the Centaur Warren, and Magoma on Skywrath Mage. Good luck, have funds come out, but Invoker been pulled... Ooh, wow, okay. Been pulled 2 Tangos, as well as a health potion. So he's going to be quite good for sustain. Death Prophet also has been pulled 2 Tangos, but it looks like Invoker can trade hits a lot earlier. Now, his level 1 Cold Snap kind of sucks now, so not much that he can do to threaten the Death Prophet early on that badly. So she's probably going to get her bottle out with it too much trouble. See, the damage is relatively similar at the moment. It's going to scale up, obviously, as he unleashes the higher levels of Exort.
30 seconds to battle.
And it looks like it will be an aggressive try. They're going to leave BZZ is perfect on his own in the bottom lane. And he'll be going up against, yeah, the Batrider. Which, he can drain the damage, but the Batrider can harass him pretty heavily with the sticky napalm, so it might be difficult for him. If he breaks a link too early, the Batrider could turn on him pretty quickly, so he's going to have to watch that. He also has to be super careful. If the Earthshake goes missing, he could get cut off pretty badly. So Baden finds a double damage rune. Don't know if he'll manage to get much out of that, as Razor finds himself a bounty rune. So Virtus.Pro managed to snag both runes at the 0-minute mark. We'll see how this mid lane unfolds as well. I feel like this is... Invoker should be able to get a good amount of farm here, but on the other hand, he's not going to be able to shut down this Death Prop with any great ease, especially... Oops. Creepers slipped through, so it looks like Mind Control is going to have the advantage here at the start, although that Creeper's going to die pretty quickly. But as the lane progresses, Death Prophet is going to start pushing him under his tower pretty quickly, so she should have the better rune control. It's going to come down to whether or not the supports from either team help out here. And I think Aftershock supports are going to be a lot greedier here, whereas... I wonder if Sedoi will actually roam early, because it's not so bad if he leaves the lane every now and then to go and fire off some arrows at mid, try and cause some ganks, and just leave Abaddon alone for a few levels to level. Because he really does quite a lot with a couple of levels. It really helps him scale up his healing power. It's just his attrition power for the entire team. It's incredibly good. As, yeah, there we go. Razor opened up with some boots, and he's brought up his magic wand. Now this is going to help him out a lot against the sticky napalm. See a possible gank being set up here. Sedoi hasn't skilled anything up yet, so he still has the option to pick up Leap. They might be waiting to see if he tries to use anything. Abaddon is here as well. I don't know if they can get a gank here. If he fishes into a stomp, this is actually bad news for Sedoi. Sedoi's going to get... Oh, wow, okay. Zeroji, that was bad. There's a good chance that Abaddon could have actually shielded that stun off as well, but if the second stun came after the shield, that probably would have been able to burst Mirana down, because the level 1 shield is really pretty weak. It only blocks like 100 damage? Yeah, 110 damage. It's not a whole lot. One stun and a couple of arcane bolts, and he would have lost that straight away, so that definitely could have been the first blood there. Unfortunately, Zeroji, his aim is off the mark. He was trying not to trap Mirana on the wrong side of it, unfortunately, but didn't manage to pick it off. Meanwhile, mid lane, so see how the farm's going. 4 and 3 for the Invoker, 5 and 4 for the Death Prophet.
Is mine. Invisibility!
Slow levels. Once Invoker gets his Quas up and he gets the regeneration up, it's going to help him out sustain a lot more. We'll see when he manages to get that up. Of course, yeah, and now he has a Sunstrike as well. They land a double, like, they land the stun, Fissure into the Hoof Stomp, and follow up with Sunstrike. That's probably a very dead Mirana. I don't know if Jodam can keep that off him, although he does have Mist Coil up now as well. Invisibility rune goes to the Batrider. The Blues, Mirana's pinging the top rune, but there's nothing there anymore. In fact, their ward should be able to spot that, actually. They can't, but pinging it out regardless. Still nothing coming out top. Sedoi taking some hits. He has leveled the arrow now, level 2. most of this game pretty passive. Or Yol actually takes some heavy harass. Back to go for this. Decides not to though. She's Firefly just about to wear out, so decides to back off there. Just going to trade some hits once again. Meanwhile, Mirana is pushing forward. She's on 5-1. The Centaur, though, is farming well, so they're going to have a very early Blink Dagger. We should probably talk about this, actually. So they're going for a very aggressive early game. They want to get this Blink Dagger on the Centaur so they can respond to early aggression from Virtus.Pro exactly, pretty much just as hard. And once they get the early dagger, this is going to be difficult for G, unless Jodam here pulls a PPD, and basically, if you're watching PPD play at ESL 1, basically he took on the whole Action Slag's guide, and you might have noticed his picks, Witch Doctor, Tree, Omni Knight. He's basically playing the type of hero who, in quote-unquote, follows your retards around and keeps them alive. And this is pretty much what he'll need to do, because once that early Blink Dagger comes out, Fissure into Blink, Hoof Stomp, Double Edge, that's a very dead death robot. So he will need to basically hang around here. If she wants to farm mid, he's going to hang around behind her and make sure she doesn't get picked off. Otherwise, we're going to have a repeatedly killed death robot. No questions about that.
Tis mine.
Oh, both ruined snags. That's unfortunate. VP support's actually been a lot more passive this game than I thought they would be. Just trying to find room for Settle to farm, and they're not contesting the runes at the moment, really, at all. Y'all did get the bottom one there, but that's not really what they want. They want to contest and protect that rune. They want to allow Death Prophet to get her hands on it so she can just bowl up. Actually, she doesn't. She should do. Yeah, there we go. It's on the courier. So she's not been able to contest for the runes so far, so she's been forced to Bottle Crow, which is not nearly as efficient as it used to be. She is winning the mid lane though in CS at the moment. So Settle takes some heavy hits, but the fairy balls, dear god, man, they suck so much. Just keep getting hit by them. There's nothing you can do about it. Disjoint can't do anything. He's gone for no levels. Oh, okay, interesting. No levels in concussive shot just yet. It's 2 in Arcane Bolt, 1 in Seal. I feel like a concussive shot into Seal could definitely actually pick off the Mirana when they've got a Sunstrike factored in and double stuns. Here we go, they might try and set something up here. There comes a stun into a Hoof Stomp. It's a bit late. Not in time. The Arcane Seal this time used to actually silence up Jodam and prevent him from miscoiling. We're using a Photic Shield. So first blood there. Gonna go out to Aftershock and a 600 gold swing in favor of them. Now this is a bit of a problem for Invoker. He's being spammed so hard by G that he's being forced to switch to Quas repeatedly, which is okay for him. Obviously he heals up, but he loses all of that damage, which makes it much harder to last hit. And also the spam of the Crypt Swarm also makes it harder to keep the Forge Elementals up and running because they get picked off by the Crypt Swarm now, having lost their magic resistance. They just take full damage. And just looking at BZZ's build, he's gone for 3 in Pulse and 2 in Static Link. Oh, I heard a Fissure there. Goes out, misses though. Mirana has leapt away. Meanwhile, Jodam has gone back to the mid lane. Has to pick up some... Wow. Oh, jeez. That is the saddest support I've seen in a while. I mean, it's 6 minutes in, and he has a pair of wards. Now Portal Scroll. And I think right now he's thinking... Unless he's got something on here... Right now he's probably thinking, do I buy the second scroll to get out quickly, or do I buy the boots? He's gone for the boots. Oh man, every support's conundrum now. Smoke up here. Oh, smoke coming up, but excellent time actually for Jodam to get here. If he can get here just... Oh no, he's gone the wrong way. He's going to go to ward. He might knock off this smoke. Actually, if he's lucky, he'll knock the smoke off, and these guys will scatter. There we go. Knocks the smoke off. Says, hey, hang on, wait, run. Jesus, holy shit, I'm so lucky. I was going to say, if he went up here just as they went in, he wouldn't have been in range. He couldn't have got in range for an Aphotic Shield or Miscoil, and that probably would have been the end of G. So a very lucky break for Virtus.Pro there. They don't lose G because of that, and they group up. I hear an arrow. Scouting. Oh, nowhere near the mark. It's just scouting. They were hoping that there was a rotation coming through here that it would hit them right in the face. And no wards planning yet by Jodam. Actually, as I say that, one goes down, trying to see what's going on. More Kefka back in the bottom lane. Let's see how they're doing. Kefka's sitting on 16-1, up against 42-12. Definitely not doing too hot against the Razor. He's been spending a fair bit of time trying to fence. We see the Stampede come out, lift up though. On top of the bat, they're giving chase. We'll throw out the Flame Break, and Kefka now gonna try and run down Yol. Yol's running for his life, still managing to stay ahead of the Batrider so far. Just trying to create space, not get stuck in that Firefly. Turns, uses the Fade Bolt. Oh no, creep back in the fire, and then dies. Oh man, he probably would have lived if he just stopped and sat still and then let the Razor switch the aggro to him. Unfortunately, he walked backwards in the fire. And at the very least, Batrider gets a trade there. But in the end, it's much needed gold for the Razor. So, probably not quite the one. It is going to slow Rubik down a little bit, but he's not doing the majority of the sport here. It is, in fact, Johnham doing it, as it seems. We see the stun came out there. I don't think she can slip through that. But most importantly, that's like another 200 gold, which just pushes Razor closer and closer to his mechanism. He's got phase, he's going into mech, he's almost got it. It's like 100 gold away. Now Setoin's trouble gets sealed up, but no follow-up from Jalopy. Stampede on cooldown. Batrider also should mention that he lost gold out of that exchange, so not great either. Just slowing down that Blink Dagger, and he also bought up, so that's like 200 gold he wasted because he had to buy up a TP as well to get back out to the lane. I heard an arrow. Just scouting to see what's up. Find nothing. Now the push is on mid. Jeez, it's going to come in here. The Ghosts are going to start biting. What build he got? Max Encrypt on just the pure harassment and pushing power and CSing power in the mid lane. And he will blow the glyph for the moment. In the mid lane. See Mirana copying some harass. Oh, no. Cancels the stun. Decides not to go for it. Meanwhile, Zeroji's hoping they push forward and he can try and get a small fissure block. No, it's just going to harass. She's going to cop some tower hits. But unfortunately, no cold snap comes out and there won't be any follow-up. Nor was the Sunstrike being prepped either. In fact, if he prepped a Sunstrike onto that, probably would have killed her. Yeah. 3 auto attacks and he could have brought her down. Johnham though. Another 400 gold. Tier 1 bottom goes down. Rubik helps bring that down along with BCZ. On the top lane though. Oh, Setoi! Ancient Seal and Double Edge is just ridiculous in the terms of damage it does. And when you only have like 600 health as Mirana, it's like, oh, this is stupid. Why is this thing? Why is this combo even allowed? It's just so brutal. Now the Fissure comes out, traps him on the wrong side though. He's got room to move here. This should be sufficient, although actually he's draining all the damage. Flame Break though, knocking him back into the fire. However, Rubik is here. And also we've got the Moonlight Shadow to cover his retreat. So that Fissure, oh man, if they blocked correctly with a Fissure. Fortunately, Zeroji missing a couple of Fissures here. Likely would have been a kill as the Forge Spirit denies that bounty rune top. And this is the kind of stuff they want from the sport, protecting the rune, to buy time for G to pick it up, or they could just leave it there and G won't pick it up. I thought G was going to give him his bottle for a minute and he'd go and run it down there for him. Maybe she's... okay, no, she's just spamming out a couple of waves. Get under the tower and then is going to go for it. Alright, there we go. Razor should have a mechanism on the way. Oh wow, he's got a ring as well. Jesus. He's quite fat. But Blink Dagger is done for the Centaur. So Centaur has a Blink Dagger before the 11-minute mark. Blink, Double Edge. Gets the stun off. Double Edge as well, however. Mirana does manage to leap beforehand. And that saves her life. Gets out of that Sunstrike, and Kefka now trying to find his Blink Dagger as well. He's about 1,000 gold away. Going to clean up some of these stacks. Invoker with his Hand of Midas will start taking his camps out there as well. Attack. Meanwhile though, G is continuing to push the mid lane, and now Invoker comes in trying to stop this up, but he's just going to get spammed for his troubles. G copying a Cold Snap as we come to the side here as Johnham now doesn't have his ultimate. Johnham's actually in a lot of trouble as he throws a miss Hypnotic Shield. Not going to be enough though, and both of them will go down.
That's something good, maybe.
And now we've got Razor on the chase. However, Invoker should be able to outpace him here. At least just get far away enough. Unfortunately, Razor was a little bit too slow to get within range. Oh, Sunstrike! Oh! Just gets the mechanism off, but it's not enough. Arrow comes in and will miss the mark.
Dire's bottom tower is under
and Aftershock right now getting a good series of exchanges. And that was a 1,800 gold swing in their favour. That's looking a little grim. VP losing the initial advantage that they had. And these Blink Daggers, once they start coming online, VP are going to start to feel the same problem as they had the game before, where they just don't really have a solid answer-seeking jump, though. They do have the Abaddon this time, though, so if somebody gets jumped, he can try and save them. But he's kind of underleveled and hasn't really had much of an impact as you should see the arrow coming through. Not going to hit anything there. Mind Control back in. Cold Snap coming out. Going to proc a few times there on G. G should be able to manage to put some distance between them. Moonlight Shadow was popped. Did they see that? I think they did. They're backing up immediately. And G, in fact, just going to reveal the fact that they did it. If it was questioned before, now they definitely know. G letting them know. They've gone invisible. Arrow comes in. Not going to hit anything, though. And it's just going to be a bit of spam. They should be able to secure this tower. Or maybe not, actually. Blink. There goes the Centaur stun. Sunstrike coming in. Flame Break. Gonna miss entirely from the Death Prophet. Was named at her, actually. Now the Exorcist is coming out. They're trying to keep Death Prophet alive. Cold Snap on the Death Prophet. Mystic Flare, as well as the Ancient Seals on BZZ. BZZ trying to back up half health. Pops the mech. Goes back in. Throws out the Pulse. And that's a lot of damage. Drums being pumped as well. Blink. Stun. Fissure as well. Catches 4. Now Jalopy in some trouble. Gets off the stun just in time, but he will lose 3. Aftershock. A really bad exchange from there as Virtus.Pro managed to get the upper hand. The Exorcism is too much for them to deal with, as well as the fact that BZZ came in with the mechanism, and he is so farmed at this point in time. Man, that is a 10 minutes. He had pretty much a mechanism, phase boots, and ring at 10 minutes. That is so hard to deal with. Blink Dagger or no Blink Dagger, as long as he gets the mech off, they probably can't bring him down with 1,000 health, unless they land pretty much a full level. Sunstrike arrow goes through, doesn't connect though, and it's not because he's put 4 levels. He's put 4 levels into Quas, so it's not that strong. The Sunstrike's only hitting for about 300. Virtus.Pro managed to regain their momentum up to 3,000 gold advantage. They're taking 2 towers down the mid plus 3 hero kills. That is exactly what they wanted. They've got to get some momentum here. If they let Aftershock take control of the ball too much, it's going to be really struggle straight towards the late game. Just because some of their cores, like their cores right now, need a fair bit of farm to be relevant. There's a lot of damage, a lot of nuke and burst damage and good disable on Aftershock's side. So they need to get farmed up or they're going to be too easy to burst down. On top of that, Mirana needs a lot of farm if she wants to be relevant, and she really has not received that. She's 24 and 4 that lane. They kept the supports up there pretty much the whole time. She was under so much pressure, there was absolutely no room for her to farm against. Which is good and bad in itself. Because Jodam didn't really rotate either. So he sat up there the whole time and did pretty much nothing. Mirana still got killed early as well. Stampede coming in. We've got the Fairy Bolts coming in as well. Gee! No, he's fine. He's fine. Looked hairy for a moment. The Arcane Bolt's not strong enough. Interesting, he's actually maxing Arcane Bolt. He's not actually maxing Seal, as Invoker actually Sunstrikes settling the bottom. Okay, Jalopy probably Blink stomped, and then Sunstrike came in and cleaned her up. There's no way Mirana's living through that. She's building into drums, but she's still incredibly squishy. She's probably only got about 900 health, so...
Radiant's bottom tower
oh man, easy kill basically. Now Yol might be in trouble. He has stolen the Forge Elemental Size now. Yol getting sealed up. Mystic Flare gonna whiff though, but he will get... oh, grabbed by Lasso, dragged in the fire, and there's not much hope for him now. Punched down by Zero G. Well, the Batrider will get the last hit there. Forge Elementals almost bring down Magoma though. As Razor swings in from the side, he is going for the fast items. I almost say against that lineup, he could easily justify an early BKB. That is a very, very, like, magic-bound lineup. They don't have a lot of right... in fact, they have practically no right-click power. If VP get a couple of BKBs out early, it's going to be really hard for them to deal with the Razor, really hard to deal with the Death Prophet. It's not as crucial as the game before, in terms of just... otherwise, you either get the BKBs or you get shut down by the Song of the Siren. But... it still would be really useful for Razor. If he gets his Scepter and then goes into a BKB, that's going to be a big deal. They're going to have no Echo Slam, pretty much, no Stomp, no Ancient Seal, no nothing. There is a response on the top lane. 3 hits TPing in. They're going to have 4. 4 TPing in. Mirana leaps away already. Stampede, but there goes the Yule's going to throw Centaur up in the air. Batrider's coming in. Batrider doesn't have the blink on him just yet. Is still in the base. Jalopy getting taken out. So I had to steal. Going to steal Stampede. This is what I mean. It's so easy to get Stampede. Now, being surged forward. Virtus.Pro, they're on the offensive. Zero G's out of man. He's got nothing. Dragged back in by the telekinesis and gets brought down. 2 kills and a tier 1. Virtus.Pro getting exactly what they want.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
good steal there by